What is the CPEN Exam Reader? The CPEN Exam Reader is a totally portable, pocket-sized device that reads text aloud with a human-like digital voice. It is ideal for hearing words and lines of text read aloud. It is a technology that can support a child or an adult who has difficulty reading. It supports those where the reading gap has increased or may have dyslexia or another specific learning difficulty. This tool allows an individual to work independently and not have to rely on human support. Let's have a look at the CPEN Exam Reader. The box includes a quick start guide, get started with your reader pen, tips on how to maximize the battery life, earphones, a pen holder, a USB cable, and of course, the exam reader. It is important that the exam reader fits in the pen case holder in the correct way. So here you have an indication with the sticker where it tells you to insert the pen with the display towards this sticker. So when I grab my pen, I'm going to face the display on the sticker facing down because it's easier to slip in. As you can see, it's much easier to slip in like this rather than like this. In fact, it gets stuck. It is important that you place it face down and not the other way round because it will get stuck. Let's have a closer look at the exam reader. Before we switch it on, let's look at the buttons. So here we have the power button. This button is also used as a back button when navigating in the menu. There is this menu button, and this button opens context menus or any settings related to the features being used. We have the navigation buttons here, up, down, left and right, and the OK button to confirm while you are using it. In here, in the front, we have a scan trigger. In fact, it's a button that I'm pressing with my finger at the moment. And as soon as that scan trigger is pressed on the paper, it will start to scan the text. This is the scanning window. This frames the text that's being scanned. So we place the text in this window. There is an inbuilt speaker here, which allows us to hear the playback voice of the scanned text. On the back, there is a reset button to use as necessary. At the back, there is also two connectors. There is a standard jack 3.5mm connector to connect the headphones. If no headphones are connected, then the inbuilt speaker will automatically be used. And a USB connector used for charging. To switch on the exam reader, press the power button and hold it for 3 seconds. When using it for the first time, you will need to set up your preferences in Wizard Setup. If Wizard Setup doesn't start automatically, then go to the settings and select Run Wizard. You will be first asked if you would like the talking menu to be on or off. This is especially useful if you are visually impaired. However, it is a great feature if you are dyslexic, as it will read every option or feature available on the exam reader. You can enable or disable this option from settings later on after the wizard is set up. You will then be asked to select a language from the menu. There are various languages to select from: English, French, German, Italian, Norwegian, Portuguese, Russian, Spanish, and Swedish. Finally, you have the option to select left-hand or right-handed pen position. Once all these setups are done, Wizard is all set up and you are ready to start using your exam reader. Let's take a look at the functions and features of the exam reader. So here we have the text reader. Let's start from the text reader. So once I select Text Reader with the OK button, I'm going to discover how to use this function. So I press the OK button, and as you can see, the screen will always start blank. As nothing is permanently stored in the text reader, so every time I exit the text reader and re-enter the text reader option, it will be blank. You can scan any print you wish, but every time you come out, it will be blank. To start scanning, you have to scan around 0.5 centimeter before a word and finish just after that word, or starting 0.5 centimeter before that sentence and finishing when the whole sentence is ready. The edge of this transparent here is a good indication of where to start the scan from and where it stops. So what we do is we place the index finger along the top of the C-pen and the thumb on the bottom, and then comfortably place the pen, making sure you have a good grip, and hold it at an angle of around 75 to 80 degrees, and you press gently on the paper. As you can see, when I press gently, the light comes on, ready for me to start scanning. So here I go, I scan one word, and it comes on the screen. So when you're scanning, make sure that you put the text in the middle of the scan window in order for it all to be there. Be aware that the text will be read immediately after a scan is finished. So if you start scanning another sentence while it is still being read, it will automatically be interrupted and start reading from the next scan. To avoid this, pause and wait for the voice to stop reading the sentence aloud before continuing the next scan. To make it easier for you to keep up with the text being read, each word is also highlighted as the voice reads. To re-listen to the text, press the right button. That will take you right up to the start, and then press OK. You can also choose to move the cursor to any position on the screen and press OK to listen from that point onwards. If there is a difficult word or you would like to hear how it is pronounced, you can visually zoom in and hear just that word. To do this, you will need to move the cursor onto that word and press and hold the OK button for it to be enlarged and read to you. When text is read out, words are highlighted as they are being read. This adds the visual sense to the experience. If you need a larger font, you can print up to font size 22. Contrasting text on colored paper does work, but it must be a good contrast. For example, black on green, blue or yellow should work well. The scanning pen works best with these fonts. It works less well with these fonts. If you are left-handed, what do? By default, the exam reader is set for a right-hand user, unless you set it up in the wizard in the beginning. But you can easily change this setting by using the setting function in the main menu. Using the navigation buttons, you can change this option. Once this is done, the display flips over, making it easier for you to use as a left-handed user. Let's have a look at the different settings that come with the text reader. By pressing the menu button while in the text reader, we can see different functions. Clear screen. I can clear any text on the screen by selecting this feature. So while I'm using it, and I would like to clear what's on the screen, I can either go back and select the text reader option again, or using the menu, I can go on clear screen, press OK, and it comes blank again. So then I'll have to scan again, or whatever I need to be scanned will come on the screen. Adding mode. This setting allows you to set whether to append or replace text. Append is great if you want to build a full sentence or paragraphs to listen to, while replace is better for shorter sections or single words. The next option is auto-read. Auto-read is a function that automatically reads the text when the pen is lifted off the book, the paper, or whatever you are using. So if you don't want it to automatically read for you as soon as you lift the pen, you have to switch it off from here. Scan languages. This allows you to set the language to read. Read settings is used to optimize the text reading. For example, if you select the English voice, you can select the English accent, which works best for you, like British English, American English, Indian English. You decide. Read delay. By default, the reading starts immediately when you lift the pen off the text. This function allows a delay between scanning and listening, giving you enough time to focus on the text on the screen while it reads it back to you. Speed and volume. You can set the speed with which the text is read, 5 being fastest and 0 being slowest. 3 to 4 is considered to be the average speed. And you can also adjust the volume from here. Word pause. This is used to insert additional pauses in between words. 0, no additional pause, and 5 is the longest pause. Punctuation pause is also used to add additional pauses, but only when there is a comma, a period colon, a semicolon, an exclamation mark, or a question mark. 0, no additional pause, and 5 is the longest pause. Brightness. Change with left and right buttons and exit with back or OK. Auto shutdown. This is the idle time delay before the exam reader automatically shuts off to save power. Use the up and down to select the time you want this function to be activated. Value selected is between 5 minutes to 2 hours. System information. This contains information about the battery level of charge, software and hardware version, and this is useful information in case the technical support is contacted. Default settings. It is possible to reset all the settings to factory default. Only use this setting if advised. And enter this setting and select yes to reboot, and then select yes again to confirm it. Run Wizard. This is a setting I explained earlier, where you can set your device to the desired setting. About. This gives you a full description of the exam reader. Battery maintenance and precautions. It is important to maximize battery life as much as possible to take care of the exam reader. For first-time use, exam reader may be used without prior charge of battery. Battery capacity deteriorates over time, so here are some tips to optimize battery lifetime. Best charge strategy is to top it up on a regular basis from example 20 to 50% to 90 to 95%. This will ensure that you do not overcharge the battery. To ensure you do not overcharge the battery, disconnect charger once the battery is fully charged. Do not expose the battery to heat above 30 degrees Celsius longer than necessary. Do not leave the battery flat as it may harm the battery. If you want to store your device long-term, for example over the summer break, 2 key factors will affect the overall health of the battery. These are the environmental temperature and the percentage of the battery. There we recommend that you do not fully charge it or discharge the battery before storage. Best to charge it is around 50% before you store it away. And keep it stored in a cool, moist-free environment less than 32 degrees Celsius. And most importantly, top-up charge to 50% every month. The following tips and strategies have proven to be a good basis for students to follow in order to use the exam reader as a normal way of working. Make sure you find enough time to gain confidence with the scan and playback function of the exam reader in the text reader mode. Make sure the pen is correctly set for right or left-handed use right from the start. In the settings, you can quickly run a wizard to achieve a rapid setup. Basic skills like highlighting a word and pushing the center button to enlarge a text and listen to it needs to be mastered, so the more you practice, the better. When you are confident in basic scanning and listening, we encourage you to explore a quick setup for a greater personalization of the pen. To do this, you need to go into the text reader mode and then press the menu button. This will take you to the quick setup where you can explore the read settings. In this menu, the pen can be more finely adapted to personalize for you. Options to personalize the pen includes adding word pause, changing the speed of playback, and adding punctuation or word pauses. Don't forget as well, I explained that you can also change the setting of the way we add the text. The append means that you can scan, let's say, a word, a sentence, and then the next time you scan, it adds to it. It keeps adding on. Whereas the replace function removes what was previously there, and every time you scan, it places what you've scanned next. For the greatest gains, use Exam Reader at home and at work. Practice using with revision papers or activities, homework, textbooks, and even past papers in preparation for any tests or exams. Don't forget, you will need to use the pen as a normal way of working, so the more you use it at home, the easier it will be when you go to school to use it during a lesson. You will be using the pen with personal headphones. The headphones provide a discrete support where you will not interrupt others while they're working, and the audio will not distract them since it will be coming through the headphones. And like that, you can hear the text over and over again as many times as you want. Make sure you charge up the pens before a day at school and especially before an exam. The pen connects to a computer via a USB lead or even directly into a wall socket through an adapter. The charging time is usually around 2 to 3 hours, but then gives you up to 8 hours of continuous use. Check the state of charge in the system information, which you can find in the settings. Before a test or an examination, it's important that you set the auto shutdown to the longest duration possible. That is of 2 hours. And like that, those 2 hours are there for you to use, obviously, the pen throughout the whole exam, and it will not shut down during the examination. If it does shut down, don't worry, you just switch it on again and start. But this will help you not having to stay switching it on and off throughout the exam and delaying any processes that you're working on and concentrating. This setup is reassuring because the pen will be always on during the examination. It will not stop you or delay you from having to turn it on, and it will let you focus during the exam. The Exam Reader enables you to get better results. By choosing to use the pen, you will be showing how much you really understand about the subject of the exam, rather than spending your time in reading and decoding words. The exam is a test of knowledge and not a test of reading. So like that, you can show your skills and feel comfortably using it.